Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us across the fence. I'm Fran Stoddard. Keeping kids active and engaged is a test of skills and wills, even when there isn't an ongoing pandemic. Cancellations, physical distancing, and staying home have presented challenges for kids and parents. To this, the staff of UVM Extension's 4-H program are saying, challenge accepted. 4-H at Home is a series of online interactive activities that take young people from their computer screen into the great outdoors. Fancy yourself a farmer? Or maybe you want to show off your green thumb. Did I mention magic, potions, spells? To get the details on 4-H at Home, Keith Silva spoke with 4-H's Learning Experiences Coordinator.
4-H at Home is our new webpage that we're launching under the UVM Extension 4-H program website. It really embodies an initiative to take our 4-H programming online and reach out to youth in new ways during this time of social distancing. And it showcases a collection of programs and resources that are geared towards youth of all ages. We have something for everyone, so ages 5 to 18, that can be done from the safety and comfort of their home.
Do you have to be a 4-H'er to take part in 4-H at Home?
You do not have to be in 4-H. We of course welcome our 4-H members, but the really exciting opportunity with our 4-H at Home programs is that they are open to all youth. And in fact, we've been able to partner with other extensions and really open our doors to youth even across state lines. So while we primarily have youth from the state of Vermont, we are also seeing youth from Maryland, Maine, as far away as Indiana. It's very exciting.
Allison, do you have a couple of examples of the activities that are being offered?
What's really exciting about these programs is that they're interactive. We include things like icebreakers, hands-on activities that use materials that are easy to find at home so that you don't necessarily need to run to the store. If there are items for activities that might be a little bit more special, we give a supply list ahead of time to prepare parents. Some of the programs, just to give you some examples of what we're offering, is we have our weekly animal scoops, and those happen on Wednesdays. Each Wednesday, families can tune in to learn about a different type of animal through games, trivia, and on-site farm visits, virtual on-site farm visits. So topics include, I think we have dogs, horses, dairy, poultry is one coming up. There's also some activity sheets that youth can do from home that help them dive into animal-related knowledge as well. And we also have 2 camps that are being offered, and I'm really excited about these. So the first camp is Design Your Dream Farm, where participants, this one is open to all ages. Participants will think about layout, some of the resources needed. They'll learn about soil science and just have fun really dreaming up what kind of farm they would like to own. And the second camp is called Potions, Spells, and Magical Kingdoms. I'm actually running that camp along with Anthony Willie, and we're really excited. So it's all about taking the everyday ordinary at your home and making it magical and mystical. We're going to do invisible message writing, creating our own kingdom, our own storylines, creating maps that tell stories about what our magical kingdoms would be if we lived in them, and explore our own superpowers.
This program is being offered online, but it sounds like you're also trying to limit screen time by providing some hands-on learning. One
thing that I would really like to stress with these programs is that we've been really intentional in our design of them, as we are just in-person programming, that these are not, sit your child in front of the screen and press play. We use Zoom and Microsoft Teams, and the youth come into the Zoom room, and we participate as though they're coming to a club or program. So we start off with icebreakers. We get to know one another. We have live demonstrations, and then we encourage the youth to partake in those activities and come back and share them out. And we really hope that kids have fun at these camps, that they laugh along the way, and that they also gain a sense of belonging. That's really important in 4-H. And right now, with people being very isolated, We want youth to still get out there from their home and get to know one another. And so this will really be asking youth to speak up in a safe place. And I'll also mention that all of our programs have at least 2 4-H professionals who are leading the programming. So we're really committed to creating a safe and interactive space for youth.
Have you and your colleagues at UVM Extension's 4-H program started to discuss what in-person activities might look like in the future?
Yes, we are starting to move forward with equipping our volunteers to resume club activities in person, of course, with safety protocols and guidelines, and thinking through also how you can adapt activities and games for children while distancing with 6 feet apart. And so that is moving forward. But we also realize that just because we can doesn't mean that everyone will be comfortable with that. And also doesn't mean that those opportunities will be accessible for many reasons, right? And so we hope to resume in-person, very localized programming for youth, but at the same time complement those experiences with online learning. And I think in this time, that has been so interesting, we've realized that there are some real benefits to being able to connect with youth online. And again, we're able to open that door to all youth, many different ages across state lines from different communities, and interact and mingle. And I can't think of a better way to help youth instill them with some life skills in this modern era.
Thank you, Allison. To sign up for 4-H at home, visit the website on your screen. You'll find the dates and meeting times for the programs that Allison mentioned. A reminder, children do not have to be enrolled in 4-H to take part in these activities, but registration is required. Some people reach for a frosty brew on a warm summer's night. Others might prefer a chilled glass of wine. But if you want to mix it up, why not grab a flagon of mead? This ancient alcoholic beverage has had a renaissance of late, and it's fair to say that it's about time. We went into our archives and found a story produced by Across the Fence's intern Joseph Couture about a Vermont mead maker extraordinaire.
The process for making mead is insanely simple. Honey mixed with water, with yeast to turn it into alcohol.
Vermont is known for its selection of craft beer. Here at Groennfell Meadery in Colchester, there is another type of craft beverage hitting Vermont shelves.
Mead is an alcoholic beverage made from honey. So beer starts with grain, cider starts with apples, wine, generally speaking, starts with grapes. Mead has to start with honey as the fermentable.
Ricky and his wife Kelly grew up in Delaware. They met at Middlebury College. They started Groennfell Meadery about 5 years ago. They've been expanding their selection of mead as well as the services they offer ever since.
Things we've made, everything from beer to cider to sake to sauerkraut to cheese, anything. We like to play with that stuff. But professionally, we decided to go with mead, and it was partly because Vermont's beer scene was so full. There was so much good beer. We didn't think we needed to add to that. But we were seeing that as cider was picking up steam in Vermont, we saw that potentially people here could realize, oh, there's more than one craft beverage. There's not just beer, there's also cider, and maybe we can start to introduce mead.
So a lot of people have, if they have any thoughts about mead in the back of their minds, they think Vikings. A lot of people think Robin Hood. It does show up in Beowulf. It also shows up in The Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, and it is the national beverage of Ethiopia. It is the oldest known fermented beverage in China. Anywhere that people had apiaries, access to honey, they have made mead. And part of that is the simplicity. Honey plus water plus yeast. It was the purest sugar source that most people knew.
Mead has a rich past. Ricky and Kelly are bringing it back with some Vermont style.
So the question of where we fit in the craft world is an open question. We actually have 2 different brands we brew out of here. We're very open about that fact. I am currently the head brewer for both, though I am handing one of them off to my current assistant brewer. But we have Groennfell Mead, which is our original one, and Havoc Mead. There are differences between the 2 brands. Mostly Groennfell are classic recipes, historical recipes, and Havoc I get to do whatever the heck I want. But since there was no competition, no one knew where to put us. So we helped create the mead shelf that now other meaderies can come and join.
While mead may be made with honey, what the Kleins produce isn't always sweet.
So what we make is different from a lot of the other mead on the market. We make a craft mead, so it comes in cans, which look like your beer or your cider. It's got a little bit of light carbonation. It has beer cider strength as far as the alcohol content goes, and it's not sweet. A lot of mead on the market is very sweet. People think honey, they think sweet, but of course your wines don't have to be sweet, even though grape juice is sweet.
Mead isn't the only taste of Nordic culture on tap here. There's also a full menu to feed your inner Viking.
Part of the thing too is just sitting and drinking is not actually how we wanted people to experience our mead. We wanted to have food. We wanted to have a full experience of community coming together, enjoying a meal together. There's something about that that's not simply about alcohol or even about getting calories into your body. There's something that is much more meaningful and enjoyable about sitting down with people, and the Scandinavian-inspired food we have, we try to use only Viking-era ingredients just to keep it fun, really works well with our product, bringing this idea of feasting, which we feel like mead is a perfect drink for.
Half a decade in, Groennfell Mead has found its place in Vermont's craft beverage landscape.
So I think that the fact that I didn't know a lot of things and I learned from trial and error that's where I am, and that's how I got here. And if I knew even a little bit more about what I was in for, I think I would have gotten scared and balked. So I'm glad that I didn't know, and I'm glad that it gave me, a false bravery to actually just go ahead and do something, and I'm really glad that I have done that.
Mead is something that's still open for you to write your own story around, and I think a lot of people should take that advantage because it doesn't come around very often.
An ancient beverage in a new setting. So heed your inner Viking and raise a stein to mead. In Colchester, I'm Joseph Couture with Across the Fence.
Since our story first aired, Groennfell Meadery has taken to the north. Their new location is in St. Albans. Visit their website to learn about their seasonal selections, year-round standards, and when their mead hall is open. And that's our program for today. Thanks for joining us Across the Fence. I'm Fran Stoddard. Stay well.